You're listening to the Hypnotic Empath, and I'm your host, Robyn Holm. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, a body talk practitioner, and an empowered empath with over 2 decades of experience helping sensitive souls like you reconnect with your power. This podcast is a space for deep healing, subconscious transformation, and real-world support. We'll do some guided hypnotherapy sessions, we'll talk to some incredible guests, and we'll help you learn to release what isn't yours, to protect your energy, and to finally feel safe being you. It's time to move from surviving to thriving. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to the Hypnotic Empath. I have a really fun episode for you today with a wonderful woman that I have known for 20 years. We met way back in the day in the fitness industry. She was in my very first training that I ever took as a group fitness instructor. Her name is Sareena Nickoli, and she is the founder of Feed Your Soul Studio, an online wellness platform rooted in movement, mindfulness, and self-connection. With nearly 30 years of teaching experience, Serena has guided people through fitness, movement, and life transitions with a heart-centered approach. She closed her brick and mortar fitness studio after the pandemic and after navigating burnout, and she rebuilt her vision with a deeper focus on nourishing the whole self. Through short, intentional workouts, soul-centered practices, and honest conversations, she helps people reconnect to their bodies, trust their inner wisdom, and create sustainable wellness from the inside out. I know you're going to love hearing from her. She has some beautiful offerings starting online at the beginning of January, which is why I wanted to get her on the podcast before that all happens, so you can have the opportunity to reach out if this resonates for you. Serena is one of the most lovely, fantastic women that I know. We had quite a parallel fitness journey. We actually both worked for Zumba Fitness at the same time. I was a Zumba education specialist and she was a jammer. So we get into that a little bit. We talk about basically our whole career, how we ended up in each stage. So if you are at a time of transition in your life, I think you might find our conversation helpful. I hope that you do anyhow. But either way, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun and we are looking forward to collaborating going forward in the future. She still is in the movement side of things, and I am more working with the subconscious side of health and fitness now. So I think it'd be a really great collaboration. So stay tuned for that. And if you are looking to work on your subconscious blocks, if you are feeling at all stuck in your weight loss journey, then you might want to check out my Thriving Body membership. I will link it all in the show notes so you can check that out. But I have a really wonderful January bonus class plan where you're going to be doing a vision board with human design expert Mindy Crawford to help us project forward into 2026. I will be doing a wonderful hypnosis to help you really get specific about what it is that you're drawing in. And then in our regular membership call, we will be anchoring that all in with hypnosis. So I think it's going to be an awesome way to start the year. If you're at all curious about that, just reach out. I'd love to share it with you. So with no further ado, here is my conversation with Serena. It's like, man, we go way back to
Yeah,
2005.
I know. It's
So
crazy.
it's crazy. In
Yeah.
2005 is when I became a group fitness instructor.
Yep.
We took the group power training together,
Yes, we
which
did.
gives me goosebumps. So
Yes.
you had already been a group fitness instructor at that point, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Okay, when did you start teaching group fitness?
I think I started in 1998, like when I first started working at Fitness West, or I started to get into it. And I think my first training was the CanFit Pro fitness instructor training. And then literally, like Brian at Fitness West was like, go ahead. I was like, really? So I made up my own Taibo class. And I just started teaching and I loved it, like loved it. So, that was I'll never forget that. And I thanked Brian actually at one point in my career. Like when I opened my studio a few years into it, I said, hey, Brian, like I just want to let you know, thank you so much for giving me that opportunity for finding my passion. So it was just awesome. And then I met you and then like group power, group kick, yeah, all the things. And then Zumba.
We have had such a parallel career, which is so
Yes.
interesting because we started in
Yes.
group power. You had already started at that point.
Yeah.
And I have a really similar gratitude in my heart for the owner of Ladies World,
Yeah.
Goldie Sidhu, because
Yeah.
he saw it in me.
Yeah.
And he was the one that started off my fitness career. I had already taken my BCRPA weight training certification a couple of years
Oh,
before.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, BCRPA is actually where I started, not CanFit. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I did CanFit during Zumba days,
Yes.
but I started with BCRPA and I
Yes.
started in personal training and I hated it. Hated it.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
I ended up getting out of fitness and
Yeah.
then working at the gym in Ladies World when I first moved to Vernon, which was in 2004-ish. And
Okay.
I ended up working back on the front desk there. And then he approached me to come on as a manager. And
Oh.
and then he was also the one that invited me to the group power training.
Oh, see, I love that. And I love that because it also just makes you reflect back on maybe like, could you be that person for somebody else? Like, could you see something in somebody and be like, hey, like, not even say like you're gonna be good at it. Like, why don't you give this a shot? Because you just never know like where it's gonna take somebody, especially being that young when we don't really have a direction and we're just finding ourselves. So I love that.
I'm sure you did that over and over again because fast forward through time, you did own your own studio. So tell me a
Yes.
little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I started with Zumba, like you said, and I was teaching at the gym, and then I started to build up my clientele, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll branch out on my own, and I was still working a full-time job at the City Furniture, my full-time career back then. And I branched out and it just was like it flowed. So like you want to talk about like feelings in your body, like you just knew it was right. And it was not even a struggle back then because it was like I was renting space and all this kind of stuff. But then in 2014, I decided to just venture out and open my own studio. It was a friend actually that said, "Why don't you open up your own studio?" I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I work at the furniture store. Like, how am I supposed to do that? Anyways, fast forward, it happened in 3 months. Space, name. I found these amazing people to help me with my renovations. And because I said, if I can't open by the end of December for the January rush, I am not doing this. Everything came together. So like I've been very lucky in my life to work with flow, and I think that is how that got me through my soul studio days.
Mm.
Yeah.
What did it feel like in your body when you knew? So your friend said to you, I think you should open a studio. What happened to
Mhm.
you in that moment?
What happened? Okay, well, I questioned it, and then I sat with myself, and I was like, okay. And I don't know if I hear voices or something, but there's some intuition in me that was like, follow. The other thing with me is I don't really have fear because it's like, what's the worst case scenario that's going to happen? It doesn't work. You got to obviously do the math and say, like, okay, if you sign a lease, like if you were to have a loss, could you bear it? So we did all that. And actually, I thank my husband for that because he's just like, go for it. We know what the loss could be, but do it. So I was getting all these signs. And once you make that decision, like I literally was like flowing and following where my body was taking me and trusting it, you know, and trusting that the right people will show up for me at the right time. And my life has been blessed with that, really. Thank my lucky stars every day.
Why do you think that is?
Ooh, oh, I don't know. I just got goosebumps. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm just being led. And I don't know if it's because I'm open and I'm way more open now. Like, this is a different version of Serena than I was back then. But I think I've just always had a deep intuition as to like following my gut, and saying, this doesn't feel right. No, I'm not gonna do it. Or this feels okay, and my body's like, "Go for it," you know?
And then you
So,
just
I think
go.
I just go, and I'm like, "Go all in."
Yeah. Do you know what
Yeah.
your human design is? Have you done that?
No.
Oh, I'm going to send that to you after because that'll be really interesting. You'll
Oh,
enjoy
yes.
that. I'll send that to you
Okay.
after because now I'm curious. So, when you just go and then things started to fall into alignment for you,
Mhm.
how many years did you have your studio?
I had it for 7 no, 8.5 years
That's remarkable.
or 8 years. Yeah, thank
That's
you.
remarkable.
And 3 of those years, like 2.5 years of those was COVID. I can't even think about it really does. It still brings back some really, not anger, but like really deep I don't disappointment because I really wanted to continue on. However, the good side is I kept people moving during COVID, and that's when they needed community. But I ran myself down. It
And
was
why what were the logistics of that? Like, what hap did your studio have to close during COVID?
Yeah, close, open, cardio, no cardio, less people, more people. We get going again and closure again. So I think there was 5 or 6 closures. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize like it disrupts the flow of business, and although it looks like you have so many people online or whatever, you can't gain new people when you're opening and closing, and people are like, I don't want to go to a gym, I feel uncomfortable. You keep opening and closing. I mean, not me personally, but just the industry itself. So it was like this huge roller coaster ride that I rode for probably 2.5 years. And, I still had bills to pay. Like, there's all these things that people don't think about, like when you're invested in a bricks and mortar, like there's so much to it. But really, my goal was like, get by, get people moving, and have people feel connection because a lot of people did not have people in their lives at that time and they were very secluded. So, Soul Studio online really is what kept people going. So, that part, I think it fulfilled its purpose.
Mhm, and were you the
Mhm.
only instructor teaching on Soul Studio? Like, what were the logistics of that?
No, I had a team of 20, I think 20, 24 people, and they all came together. I mean, that's one thing that crushed me was my team, like, closing because I just loved them, and I love them still. Like, they did everything for Soul Studio. So, yeah, we would come in and we converted to online actually is how really I got into this whole online thing is we would come in and teach. They'd have keys, we teach solo to a camera, and everybody would come on to Zoom, and we never stopped teaching during COVID. We missed I taught Zumba with Serena Sundays since 2009. During COVID, I did not miss one.
Wow.
So it was like I think we got the news on Wednesday. I had a friend, Sue, come and help me do everything logistically online. And on that Sunday of COVID, I was on stage teaching to a camera. I never missed a Sunday,
Wow,
not
that is
one.
remarkable.
Yeah. And it became, people joke, they say it became church. It kind of did. Like every Sunday morning at 10 or 10:30, like Zumba with Serena, like that just became our like community, and so it just continued on online. But then you just get to a point, I think, where it's like you want to talk about feelings in your body. There was some My body started giving me signs um before I had to make that decision to close. So
Wow.
I think I started to get very in tune with my hips were stuck. My neck was stuck, and I would go to physio. I'd jump back on the bike right after. I would go for massage. I would teach a Zumba class. Like nothing was healing. And finally, my body was like, you need to stop. And I think you've been there.
That's
And
that's
it's hard,
that's how I
right?
ended my fitness career was because
Yes.
my body was saying that, and it was devastating.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, and I grieved.
Devastating.
I grieved it for years. I had a dream last night about being back teaching group fitness. I've been
You did.
yeah, last night,
Yeah.
probably because I knew that we were gonna be meeting today, and like
Yeah.
back at Ladies World,
Yeah.
Goldie puts me back on the roster, and here I am back teaching, and it's been 15 years. 15 years since I
Wow.
retired. Yeah.
And you know the joy of teaching. I mean, you had an amazing position with Zumba. When we get to do what our soul wants us to do, it's like freeing and liberating and just like I don't know. And then when your body is like you can't do this anymore, I was like, what is happening to my body? Like also, I had that like I was stuck. Like, I don't know if that happened to you, but like when I danced, I would be able to dance so free, right? And then I just started to notice like my body was not moving. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And then it scared me. because I was like, am I done? Like, is this it? So I stopped. Like, I actually gave up my Zumba certification. I gave up everything. And I'm like, I started to try teaching once in a while, and it just something wasn't flowing. So I'm like, okay, body, what is up? Like, so I'm literally having a conversation with my body.
Yeah, well, and that's what it was like for me too, but I was really mad at my body. I was really, really upset that it
Oh,
wouldn't
you
just
were? Okay.
yeah, because I wouldn't just
Yeah.
do what I wanted it to do because my soul, exactly what you just said, Serena, my soul wanted to teach group fitness until I was
Yes,
90.
I know.
I was going to be the 90-year-old still teach like that was it for me. Like I
Uh-huh.
loved it so much. I loved every
Yeah.
minute of it. I loved every second of it. It was a
Yeah.
mental emotional reset for me every time I walked through those studio doors.
Oh.
All of that. I loved
Mm.
it so, so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was the knowing that it was making a big difference in people's lives. You can see it, you
Mhm.
can feel it. You're deeply
Oh,
connected with this group,
yes.
right?
And we're all having so much fun, and the best is we're having fun, and we're moving our bodies, and we're not thinking about that it's fitness. And I think that is something that has been my goal because, well, I used to work at Fitness West. Like, I mean, I started with Brian, like I said, in like 1998, right? And I would see people come in and they just like key tag, do their weights, leave. And I was like, where is the joy? Like, because I would do a group fitness class, I'd be like, whoa, this is amazing. I walk out the door and I'm like, that was awesome. I come in and I'm like excited to work out. So I'm like, how can we pass that along to people? Because you need to move your body for longevity, health reasons, all the things. And I'm like, how do we make it fun for people? And then Zumba came along, right? I mean, like that is a party.
And the music. I think that a
Oh,
big part of it, because with group fitness, once I started marrying movement to music, that's
yeah.
when everything really opened up
Oh,
for me,
yes.
right? Because
Yes.
and because come from a very musical family. I can
Okay.
sing, I can play the guitar, like I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
okay. My sister is phenomenal. Like she's
Yeah.
a pro. My dad
Yeah.
like comes from our family, but I realized when I discovered group fitness to music and
Yeah.
then I discovered Zumba, I
Yes.
realized that all these years me trying to express myself musically was meant to be done in my body and not with my
Yes.
voice.
I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
It felt so
Yes.
good. So that was just amazing. And I mean, I didn't even start dancing. And there was a program, first of all, called Group Groove that I did
Yeah.
through I did that first.
Yeah.
And I took the Zumba training to get better at the Latin portion of Group Groove. That's how I ended
Ah,
up taking Zumba. So I
okay.
was like researching. I took a ballroom certification course to get better at groove.
Yeah.
And I did that with my husband. And then I was researching the Latin based dance fitness. And that's how I came across Zumba. So then
Yeah.
I got in touch with Zumba International
Yeah.
and got them to send out a trainer. So I hosted that training in like October.
Yes.
And no one knew about
Mhm.
Zumba at that point. Were you
Nope.
in that first training?
No, you know
You weren't.
what? I You sent me the information, actually. I remember an email coming from you. I remember where I was because it was such a moment where I was like, Latin music and fitness. I'm like, I am in,
Yeah.
like, but then I think I could not commit to October. I think we had something at the store like that at City that I couldn't miss. And I was like downright like, how am I going to get trained? So I flew to Calgary the month later and took it with Tony Pitt.
Yes. Yes. Cool. That's right.
So it was a month after yours.
Yeah, cool. And it was when so I picked up the trainer from the airport and she got in the car and she looked at me and she goes, "You need to apply to become a Zumba trainer." Like an instructor. I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Yeah, we're expanding into our Canadian team. Like we need it was called ZESs at the time,
Yeah,
Zumba
yeah.
Education Specialists, which are instructor trainers." So she
Yeah.
got in the car and she's like, "You need to apply." And I had been working to apply to I wanted to be a trainer with body training systems.
Yes, yes, BTS,
And
yeah.
yeah, and that's why I kept doing all of these other things because I wanted to apply to be a groove trainer. That was
Yeah,
my plan.
okay, yeah,
And then that was in 2008 when the economy just really took a tank and
yep.
BTS wasn't hiring any more trainers. And I, again, was devastated.
Devastated.
Oh my gosh, I went through this huge mourning. But
Mhm,
then the cool thing about the universe is I had done
mhm.
all of this preparation, all the certifications, everything that I needed to apply to be a trainer for Groove. And
Yeah,
then 2 months later, after that devastating disappointment,
yes.
here Janny gets into my car and says, "You need to apply for Zumba." I had everything I needed to apply, everything.
See, it lined it up for you. I
Mhm.
think that's amazing.
So then when I got invited, I made it through the first round. I got invited to Toronto. It was an audition that I went to in Toronto. And I had such a deep confidence of knowing that I could do the job because I had been training to do it for 3 years already.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I just
makes sense.
knew. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you, right?
Mhm.
I love it.
Very shortly after that, then you came on board with Zumba as a
Jammer.
jammer. That's what it's called.
Yes, yes,
As a
I was a
jammer.
Zumba jammer. Again, one I think I was the first one in Western Canada for that,
Yes. Yeah.
and I was like you, so excited to be able to be in this industry teaching, people outside of Vernon, and then devastation hit when, like, they said from 6 sessions, you have to do 9 sessions a year, you have to do 12 sessions, a year, and I was like, "I can't commit." Like, I'm running a, furniture business, like, I was working 6 days a week. I was a workaholic. I mean, that's just what I did. Um, but then out of that devastation came Soul Studio. So we go through these devastating points in our life, and I feel like it has helped me understand that devastation is going to bring you something else. So rather than get caught up, however, I mean, I did get caught up in my devastation of closing Soul Studio because I was devastated. I'm like, Serena, you got to keep working at yourself. You can take a couple weeks, take a couple months, be down and be in those feelings, really feel what you're feeling, but start moving again. Start doing something different. So, in all of that, I discovered baking.
Oh,
Like,
this is new
like
information to me. Please share.
so I never had time for kitchen. I never cook. I never bake. And me and my husband, we worked all the time. So it's like you grab something, whatever the case may be. And then I don't know what baking it wa something happened to me. So this happened, like, after I closed Soul Studio, I started baking cookies and, like, people started liking them, and I was like, "What is happening to me?" And then I started selling cookies, and then it was like I there's just thing to, like, a project for myself, you know? But I think why I loved baking is the precision of it, the timing of it. You get to see an end product. And then my joy, because fitness was like watching people dance, so then my joy became watching people eat my cookies.
Yeah.
So I was like baking, I'm like, eat my cookies, you know? So I think that I discovered so many new things about myself that I don't think I would have had the opportunity to discover if I kept on that grind, that path that was just going to make me work until I think something would have happened to me. Like, you want to talk about body, I feel that stress is a huge factor in disease, in ailments. So when I was having the hip issues where my hips were stuck and my neck was stuck, I was like, what else is happening to me internally if I'm working so hard that could cause some sort of something? And that's when I'm like, you got to slow down. And
Yeah.
thank God, I don't know what would have happened if I would have continued on. I had the decision. I could have carried on, but I was like, my body said no.
Your body said no, and then
And my
you
soul,
listened. Oh,
I
okay.
listened.
Yeah.
I
And you
listened. I did
listened.
listen. And I think a lot of people get signs, but they don't I don't know if they don't pay attention maybe, or they're not open to it, or they think they're gonna be invincible and it's gonna be okay, but I think that if you can tune in to this beautiful vessel of ours, really tune in and understand, and it guides you. I am living a way less stressful life. Even with this new project that I've got coming on, I'm not gonna stress out about it. I'm gonna go with the flow, and I'm gonna work with whatever comes to me.
Can you tell us a little bit about this project you have coming up?
Yes, I'm so excited. Finally, I have that desire to create again. My body is moving actually better than it was. My creativity, my choreography is coming back. So when you hear music, I'm like, yep, boom, 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 and it's done. Whereas before, I was like hearing music and I'm like, it was stuck.
You know
Nothing was
what?
coming.
When I had to retire from Zumba for a little while, any kind of fitness music that had the beat
Yep.
would trigger me immediately. I would go into fight or flight immediately. And
Yes.
that doesn't happen anymore, but that was again my body speaking to me because I associated it with timelines and deadlines and always having something
Oh,
to
yeah.
do. And when I was working for Zumba, It was 75% admin. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if it was the same
Okay,
when you were a
no.
jammer.
Okay.
Like, we worked every
Oh,
weekend.
yeah.
We
Mhm.
trained every weekend, but this is back when, like, I would have to print everything off for everybody. I had to order all the manuals. They would have to get shipped
Wow.
to the gym, and I did all of my own travel and hotels and
It's a
all of my
lot.
Zumba wear. I would have to get that all sent,
Yeah.
all of that. It was a huge, and then all the registrations, that was all on the Zest. We did all of it. And at back in the day, if you think about when this was, because I was a Zest from 2009 to 2012 in that kind of time
Okay,
period.
yeah, yep.
And I would have to print off all of their
Something like
evaluations.
that.
So
Yeah.
they would do their evaluation. I would have to mail those to Florida.
You
Mail them,
would?
hard copy. Yep. So I would have, stacks of them, and I'd have to go every Tuesday off to downtown Vernon to, like,
Yeah.
mail them physically
Oh my
to
god.
Florida. It was such a different time. And I
Yeah,
know that even, with some of my dear friends that stayed training way longer than I
yeah,
did, it got easier and easier and easier as time went on because
yeah.
everything was digital.
Technology. Yeah,
Mhm. But
yeah.
I was back in the dark ages when everything was manual still.
So
And
that creates a lot of extra work.
I would dream all night about forgetting my charger for my phone or forgetting this. I was always
Oh,
felt like I was
yeah.
forgetting something.
Yeah,
I never
yeah,
did ever,
yeah,
but I always felt like I was.
yeah,
And there was one time where I landed in Saskatchewan to do a training, and
yeah.
my iPhone wouldn't work because they did not have a 3G network.
Oh my god.
I didn't
And then
even
you're
know
like,
that was a thing.
yeah.
So it's stuff like that was always happening, and we would train. Like, there'd be 58 people in a training, and I did two
Mhm.
trainings a weekend plus a master class
A
on Friday
lot.
night.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you relate to this, but then I'm holding space for all those people.
Yes.
All those people. And I
Yes.
and I love holding space for people. But
Me
I'm, like,
too.
now feeling responsible for every person in my training. And I'm training hundreds and hundreds of people
Yeah, yeah,
every year. And now
yeah.
they're all I feel responsible for every one of them. That was when I did not realize that I was an empath. I didn't know
Mm,
at that period of
okay.
time. Had no
Yep.
idea, because 'cause I'm not a super emotional person. I always thought empaths were, like, really emotional.
Yeah.
That's not it at all. Empaths have this, like, superhuman ability to put themselves into other people's shoes, to
Mhm.
empathize with other people, and I would always think, like, if I was, learning this, what would I need? And so then I was always trying to be everything that I needed and didn't have, let's say, at the beginning for all these
Got you.
people.
Yes.
So, it was one of the things that made me a great trainer, and I was a great
Yep,
trainer.
you were. You were
Thank you.
100%.
I
Yes.
loved it. I loved it so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
But it got my body carried all of that, Serena,
yeah.
all of that.
I get it,
And I
Robin. I
didn't know
get
my
it.
body was carrying it. I just knew I was
Yes.
waking up and by the end of the training, I could not sleep. For the last year of me doing Zumba trainings, the entire night in whatever hotel I was in, I was awake. I could
Yeah,
not sleep. I wouldn't be able to sleep until, like, Sunday night when I was home, and then I would try to sleep for, like, 4 or 5 days, and then I just literally stopped sleeping.
yeah. And then your body's like, "Whoa,
Yes.
like, what's going on?"
Well, then I
A
couldn't recover.
and then so yes. So there is something too where, like, we could start being aware of. So if somebody's listening to this, like, just be aware because I do feel the same thing, like, almost with Soul Studio. I was taking on so many people because I love people, and like you
Me
said, like,
too.
you just wanna be there and, like but I would put myself in so many people's shoes, but you don't realize and that's why my battery was dead because well, not only that, plus I was physically we were physically moving our bodies too. Like,
We're
not only are we
professional athletes.
mentally yes, but, like, I was teaching 6 classes a week, plus running my business, plus coming up with challenge like, all these things, right? And then COVID, and then I'm, like, still going. I worked for 3 months straight when COVID started. I didn't have a break. 3 months straight. And
And choreography. Now you're trying to also be creative, because you
yeah.
with Zumba, we made up all of our own choreography,
Mhm.
and you need
Mhm.
inspiration to do that.
Oh my god. I okay, not only inspiration, Robin, we need space. So this is the other thing that I've learned in being off for since 2022 is space. I had no space. I was like stuffed in a box and I was just sitting there like and stuffing just kept coming through and I was like I can't even move, you know? And I think as I just started to create space in my life And space comes from everything. It comes from in your home, your friends, what you're doing in your life, what you're taking on. Are you taking on too many things? Do you feel like you need to be there because of what? So reflecting back, I'm like, there is a lot of things that I necessarily did not need to do. And it just kept, I don't know, stuffing me more. There was no space. So I think creating space allows you to flow, you know,
Definitely. Because
and yeah,
it allows you to respond to opportunity too, right?
it does. Yeah,
Mhm.
totally. So yeah, it was such a good learning experience. And also learning that you don't have to take on everything that's given to you because sometimes we feel you're like me, there's an opportunity. It's like, let's go get it. I've learned you don't need to take every opportunity that's handed to you. If you can just take a moment and tune in and sit with it for a second. I'm like, what does your body tell you? What does your body say about this opportunity? Or if you decide to take it and maybe it's not something great, end it. Don't stay with it because that's then when you start riding that very slippery path that's just going to make you slide all over the place. Just end it.
How did you get to the point that you were able to do that?
Ooh. I think it's tuning in with my body and really knowing what my body wants. So I took a job opportunity right after I closed Soul Studio in July 2022. I got approached by the Okanagan College to teach in their business program. And so I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm going to teach. I said, sure. And I was like, okay, I don't have a lot of experience. What should I do? They're like, no problem. Bring your business experience to it. I was like, okay. So I take on this. I started with 2 second-year entrepreneurship classes and an intro to marketing class at the Kelowna College. And it was just like an experience that maybe I think I wasn't ready for in my life at that point because I had just closed my studio. And I think the transition part and where I was just wasn't fitting. I enjoyed it, but it didn't feel right. So I actually lasted a semester and I said, you know what? This is not right. So I quit. Had a great time. I learned, but it just wasn't for me. And then I literally was like, okay, universe, what's next? I'm ready. I'm waiting. And so that was January 2023. And here I am now. Nothing came to me because I wasn't ready, but I was open for it. And I was like, I can't do something that doesn't rock my soul. So that was my criteria for my next best thing or the not best thing, just the next thing I was going to put my energy into.
You
Yeah.
started a podcast in there somewhere too.
Yeah, I did. Again, on a whim, somebody's like, hey, Serena, have you thought about podcasting? I'm like, what's podcasting? What's video podcasting? Because there was this thing. So then Joe, he's a guy that I was like kind of talking, just asking him questions about film and stuff like that. He's like, well, why don't you apply for the TELUS grant? I'm like, oh, what's that? He's like, oh, they give like $10,000 to someone who wants to start a podcast. I was like, oh, okay. So then I go online and then I have 10 days to complete this application. So I told myself, if it doesn't flow, I'm not going to force it. I sat down at my computer and it was like, up. And then I did a little video, sent it in, actually forgot about it. And then 6 months later, I get this email saying, congratulations, you have been accepted for this grant. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what was it for again? I was like, oh my God, tell us. So then I started a whole podcast. So I had to film 8 sessions. And it just is going off of everything I did because my studio was called Soul Studio. I started a Feed Your Soul podcast. And so Feed Your Soul actually came from a January challenge that I did. I would do a January challenge every year. So I think I started in 2016 maybe, and I called it Feed Your Soul. So every January there was a Feed Your Soul challenge. And then now I did 8 episodes, popped it on YouTube, Spotify, and then I got a message like a couple weeks ago that I was in the top 20% of Spotify's video podcasts. I was like, what? Anyways, crazy, crazy. But I'll tell you something, those podcasts was like my therapy because I talked a lot about soul and My guests that I had were very inspiring, and I think it just got me through a time where I could just speak. So, I was very thankful for that opportunity.
Mhm. Will
It was
you
awesome.
resurrect it, do you think?
I might resurrect it. Okay, so here we wanna go back to seeing what's right. So then the podcast gets launched in May. I'm like, "Okay, what's next?" And then every time I started to try and either promote it or, like, try and find a different avenue, it was stuck. Nothing was flowing. I would try, I would do things, I would send messages, and I'm like, "Stop." So I stopped. And then I get this message that about Spotify being in the 20%. So I'm like, "Serena, things take time. It's patience." So, like, what we do is we get excited about something and it's just like, "Well, what's gonna happen to it?" But if you, like, be a master at your craft and you just keep following your soul, I think you don't need to feel that pressure to have to do more and how to get it out there, And that would be my advice to somebody. If you're starting something, yes, have the drive, but when you keep pushing and there's roadblocks, stop and just reevaluate. What
Mhm.
are you doing, you know?
Well, and when I got into fitness, it was because I love group fitness so much.
Yeah,
I
I get that
followed
passion, I love it,
I
yes.
followed it, and then
Yeah,
and then oh, and before that, I was in the service industry, and I loved the service industry so much. Like, I
yeah,
started serving when I was 16 years old. I bartended and served all around the world. That's how I did
yeah,
all of my traveling, and
yeah,
that's also when I discovered group fitness was during that time.
yeah,
And then I loved it so much, then this opportunity for me to turn it into a career arrived, and I was like, "Yes."
yeah.
And then the way that I ended up getting into body talk was because of my own injuries. So I
Yep,
found a body talk practitioner. Body talk is all about the stresses that we store in our bodies.
bodies. Mhm.
So at that point, I was telling my body to stop talking to me because I needed it to keep doing what I wanted it to do. And my body started with
Ah,
like a little whisper. And then exactly what you said, I had injuries that were not healing. I just was not
yeah.
healing, even though I did all the right things. It made no
Mhm.
sense that I wasn't healing. So that's what led me into body talk. And I started going every 3 weeks. Boom. Every 3 weeks, I was going to body talk because I wanted to get back to my fitness career. And as I got more and more in touch with my body and the reasons that it was holding these stresses, I really enjoyed the learning process, learning about
Mhm.
myself, learning about my body, and then still on my way trying to get back to fitness. It was in probably about February. So I'd been going to body talk sessions for maybe 6 months. And
Yeah,
my body talk practitioner was like, you know what? You like this so much. Why don't you come to a little 1 day training where you'll learn body talk you can do for yourself at home? It's kind of like brushing your teeth in between going to dentist appointments.
yeah.
So, sure. So
Mhm.
I went and took that training. I loved it. I learned some hands on things. And then about 6 months after that, she was like, you know, you really like this so much. Why don't you just take your fundamentals body talk training? You'll learn all about it. You'll get a deeper understanding about what's going on. You might really enjoy it. And I was like, sure. So I
Yeah.
ended up doing that. And the whole time I was like, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? But I was doing the body talk because it was interesting and I loved it. And I was learning about myself and I was feeling better.
See?
So then I went through the
Mhm.
fundamental training and they
Yep,
were like, you know, if you like this so much, you should probably do your fundamentals a second time because then you can write your exam if you want to. I'm like, I'm not going to be, I'm going back to fitness. I'm not going to be a body talk practitioner. That's silly. So
right.
I just went and took fundamentals again because it was interesting. And then I got together with a person I met in that training who's one of my best friends to this day. And we
Love
started
it.
practicing together once a week. And I was like, well, I may as well write my exam. I may as well write my exam. So then I wrote my exam and I started taking clients. And about a week later, I'm taking more clients. And then the next thing you know, I have a full practice and I never went back to fitness.
See, but that's where your path led you and you
Mhm.
were open. And as much as you thought, well, it's fitness still is a part of kind of what you do because you've got
Mhm.
all that knowledge, and you can speak about it and tell people the importance of it. I love that because some people don't really give themselves a chance to explore something that could lead them down a path that they never expected, right? Because they have some sort of idea in their head of like what they want to be, who they want to be, but it's like, if you just take a step out of that, your path might be leading you somewhere else. And then, like, now look at you, you're shining a different light. And it's amazing. And you're doing something that you love. And that
Mhm.
actually changed your life.
And then now I'm a clinical hypnotherapist.
Oh, okay. So
So
that's okay, that's different.
so
Okay.
I did body talk for I've been certified for 13 years now.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I did body talk through COVID, through having my babies, because then
Yep.
another little side story is that meanwhile, all that time, I was also trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
So during my last 2 years of being a Zumba trainer, I was going through IVF in addition to all of that.
Wow. All
Mhm.
that. So
All of that.
your body's like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, yeah, but I was told everything was fine. I was super healthy and having cycles and all the things, but my
But
nervous system was a
yes.
total mess,
Yes.
total mess. So along the way then, body talk, I did a ton of healing on my own. There was a couple of years there in between where I really wasn't working, and that was terrifying. I've worked since I was 12 years old. That was terrifying, right?
That's like me.
Yeah, yeah,
It is terrifying. Did you feel like you had things to do and you had more to give, and why am I not being able to be in a position where I could be working, and like what is happening?
yeah.
It's a mental game. So then did you focus on maybe I need this time for me? How did you get through that time?
Well, meanwhile, during between body talk and Zumba, between
Oh,
those 2
yes.
times, I like you baked cookies, I started cooking.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm gonna do cooking classes. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do cooking classes in my house." So I went because I didn't have time to cook during Zumba, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, "I'm gonna do cooking classes." So and that's still nutrition. I was like, "Maybe I'm gonna have a retreat center and
Oh
people are
my
gonna
god,
come," and
so
like, I everything I do, I try to turn it into a business, and I've
me
done that
too.
since I was a little kid. Yeah. It's how I think.
Yeah, it's we're just entrepreneurs, like,
Yeah.
that's just what we are.
Oh, I was born an entrepreneur for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And so here I am now, "Oh, maybe I'll do that." So I went and got my food safe, loved that. I was like, "Maybe I'll be a food safe trainer." That was super fun because anything that involves, any kind of education I'm in, I just love it,
Yeah,
right?
me
Especially if
too.
it has to do with the human body, the human organism, I'm all about it, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
And meanwhile, when I first took my sabbatical, Chris and I
Yeah.
went to Costa Rica for 5 weeks.
Okay.
And while I was in Costa Rica for 5 weeks, I met a woman who was like, "Have you heard of podcasts?" And this is in 2012.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And I was like, "I have no idea what that is. What is that?" So then she tells me, and I'm like, "That sounds amazing," because I love learning while I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Oh my
sit
god,
down.
we're very similar.
I know.
Like, and we also have to be multitasking,
Oh, all
like
the time. I actually learn better that way because I'm like, my
too.
body is doing dishes or
Yeah.
cooking and I'm
Yeah.
learning. So
Yeah.
the only podcast I could find at that time was Jillian Michaels,
Okay.
which
Yep.
was great. And
Yep.
then I found a podcast called the Balanced Bites podcast, which was all
Mhm.
about paleo. So I started
Oh,
learning about paleo at that time, and that was actually a big part of my healing journey because I didn't know then that I was allergic to gluten. I started the paleo journey, so I ended up listening to that specific podcast for 9 years straight.
are you serious? Wow.
It was amazing. It changed my life. I still follow those 2 women,
That's
after they ended.
amazing.
So I always wanted to podcast. I always knew podcasting would be my medium,
Okay.
but it was about timing. It was about timing, timing, timing. I was like, "I
Yep.
don't know yet what it is that I want to share." And people would say, "You should start a podcast." I was like, "I should. You're right. I just don't know what I'm gonna talk about yet because I have
Yeah.
so many things I could talk about, and I didn't feel like I had enough of a
Yeah, a
funnel,
niche.
a niche." Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure. So, then along in my fertility journey, now I'm a body talk practitioner. Now I'm working full-time body talk practice that I built from the ground up. And you, like me at that time, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok. It was Facebook
No.
pages, and that was it,
Yep.
and a website, right?
Yep.
And then we had to go and find clients physically. So I would go and like pop up a table somewhere at like some gym event and talk about what body talk is, which is really hard to do because it's super hard to explain.
Yes, get it.
And so I was doing that to build my practice. I got to the point where I was had a full-time practice,
Yeah.
but I still wasn't getting pregnant. And this was probably 10 years into my fertility journey at that point.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And I was like, why the fuck am I
Yeah.
still not? I have given up my career.
No.
I have given up what I love. Like, oh, I
And you're
got the
focusing on
24.
you, you know?
I'm not overdoing it, because
Yeah.
my adrenals would, every time I tried to like exercise, my adrenals would freak out. I was like,
Wow.
what body, what more do you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
And at that point was when I discovered hypnotherapy.
Oh,
So it was through a
cool.
friend of mine, the one that I met in that body talk
Body
training,
talk.
still one of
Yeah.
my best friends, Deanne Crew.
Yeah.
We were doing body talk together, and there was this like kid that started showing up in body talk. I know that
Mhm.
sounds weird, but I was like, I wonder if this is my kid. And so we would kind of do body talk on the kid. She's very like psychic and very she
Okay.
like a medium, so she can really
Yep.
see in the spirit
Yep.
realm. So then I read this book called Spirit Babies by Walter McCutcheon. And I took that to Deanne and I was like, I think this is what you are doing. So then she started researching spirit babies and she came across this hypnotherapist in Denver who did fertility hypnosis. So
Wow.
then she took that back to me. She goes, you should check this out. And I immediately booked a session with Lindsay. And at the time, it was
Mhm.
all over the phone. Because again, this is before Zoom. This is like, we weren't even doing Skype really at that point. It was all phone.
Yeah.
And so I started working with her. And then that working with her, plus my body talk, listening to my body, I was in my body talk practice at the time. Then I started IVF again. And then that's when I was successful.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is so awesome.
So that was
I mean, I knew you were doing that, but I didn't know what you went through.
It was hard at the Zumba days. I didn't really talk to anybody about it because I didn't
Mhm.
know anyone else who was going through a fertility journey. Nobody else. Everyone else I knew got pregnant by thinking about
Oh,
it.
man. Yeah, and you're like, "What the heck?"
Yeah. And
Yeah.
first of all, second of all, I really felt like a failure.
Mm.
And third of all, people would say the wrong stuff all the time and make it
Yeah.
worse.
Yep. Yep.
So it didn't feel safe for me to talk about it. I had one person that it took 10 years for her to have her baby, and I could talk to her because she really got it. And
Yeah.
that was it. I didn't talk to anybody else, Serena, not
Wow.
because
So
I
you're just, like,
wasn't.
carrying all of that, and that's what happened, like, that if you just reflect back, you can kinda see, like, why, like and I think it's pretty cool that in the end, you got what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Which is awesome, but
Yes.
then you were able to move through that, and you found your hypnotherapy as a source to get you through that, and now you're
Yeah.
teaching it, obviously.
Yes. Well, so now what I do with hypnotherapy, we love to teach, right? I
Yeah,
love to
I love
teach.
teaching. Yeah.
Love it in a group. I love and then
Yeah.
what I realized though that I
Mm.
like even more than teaching is I like mentoring even more. 'Cause
Okay.
I used to train instructors and then the
Yeah.
ones that would follow up on me and be like, "Well, what do I do with this?" Or when I was training up a new instructor at the gym for the example, and even if I go back to when I was in the service industry, I loved training new servers.
People. Yeah.
And that's actually more mentorship than it is teaching at the front of a classroom.
Yes.
Because with teaching at the front of the classroom, I get bored. Like even with my Zumba training, here we are again, same training every single weekend. That was
Yeah.
tiring for me.
Yeah.
But the part that I really loved was when people afterwards would be like, "Well, I've got this going on with this class, and what should I love talking about business and how to set it all up, and
Yeah. Yeah.
talking about my experience." And I love mentoring people.
Yeah.
So now I'm mostly doing hypnotherapy. I still do body talk on referral base only because I still have clients from the last 12 years that still refer people
Wow.
to me.
Yeah.
But I mostly do hypnotherapy now. It's really easy to do it online.
So did you have to take a course? So
Yep.
sorry, you did take end up taking a course.
Yep. So what happened was I was working with Lindsay, had my babies. I worked with her for like 4.5 years in total
Okay.
and had both of my babies within that
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
both through IVF. They were both IVF babies.
Okay.
And my son came along at 12.5 years into my fertility journey,
Yeah.
and Ruby at 15 years into my fertility journey.
Wow.
Yeah. They're both
Wow.
here now. It's great.
Amazing.
Wonderful. It's
Yeah.
and it was
And
worth
it's filled your soul.
it's worth every second of it. I wouldn't change a thing.
Amazing.
And when I was working with Lindsay, I was like, I really want to be a hypnotherapist. It really works. I understand the subconscious. That made so much sense to me, but I had no opportunity. And once I had the kids, where was I going to go to train?
Mhm.
Now I've got two little kids at home. So a couple of years ago, then there's a trainer that moved in to Salmon Arm,
Okay.
and she does a 220-hour training program.
Cool.
So it is fully intensive for 4 straight weeks, and you start
Wow.
actually putting people into hypnosis the very first day. It's a phenomenal
Really?
training. Yeah, it's a phenomenal training. So I had the opportunity to go and do that training with her, and because I already had built practices before and I'm an entrepreneur, as soon as I graduated, I started taking clients that very week. And
Yeah.
so I've now done
Mm.
hundreds of hypnotherapy sessions
Wow.
since I began because I love it so, so, so much.
And you could do it online now. Can
Yeah.
you do it online?
Yeah. I can
What a
do it
beauty of
online
that, eh?
or I can do it here in my clinic. So, and I
Yeah.
already have my clinic space set up because of Body Talk.
Yep.
And
Perfect.
I just had to bring in my recliner chair.
Yep.
So now I do mostly that. And I have an opportunity to start teaching at her school.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you. You're
Thank you.
following that teaching, right? I love it because I think we follow our passion as well. We follow what it is that rocks our soul because that is our journey. And when you do that, when you walk that path, it is just, I don't know, it's so rewarding, so fulfilling. I don't know. I think it's so awesome. And then you get to share really like from the depths of your soul to these people, and it makes such a different experience for people. So you will be training so many amazing people. They'll
Thanks.
be lucky to learn from you, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. And I think what you said too, so in between like you baking the cookies, me doing the cooking classes, that kind of stuff, I could have done that, but it did not rock my soul, Serena.
Oh no. Yeah,
I
me
could have.
neither.
I could have done
Yeah.
it. And so it didn't last. I tried it, and don't be
Yeah.
afraid to try. That's the point. Try, try,
Yeah,
try, try.
try. And I still bake, but I don't sell
Yeah.
them anymore because actually I got tennis elbow last December. So it was my second annual Christmas cookie box, which I didn't really throw out there because I didn't want a like to bake so many cookies, but I did 1,100 cookies in 10 days. And it was like that, the gripping. And then I got tennis elbow and I'm like, oh my God, like I can't do this. It is so much work. I love it. Did it rock my soul? Like you said, no. Did I enjoy it? Yes. But then now, like all of a sudden, coming from my path, I found that thing to rock my soul again. And the best part about this next journey of mine is that I have no expectations and
Well,
I am going.
give us some details. Like what exactly are you doing? How can people participate? Like tell us about it.
Okay, so I have decided to go along with my Feed Your Soul theme, and it's going to be an online wellness platform. So I hung on to my on-demand library from Soul Studio for 3 years. I didn't have a lot of people on it. It was costing me money, but there was just something that I could not let go of. So I didn't pull the plug on it. I just let whoever was on it do it. I got onto my spin bike literally October the 27th of this year. I've been on there for a while. And you're gonna understand this feeling, but like I had my music in so loud, I closed my eyes and it took me back to teaching. And I was like I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because it was this feeling that was like, you're ready. I was like, oh my God, I'm ready. I need to teach again. But I was like, that is so bizarre. Like it just wasn't even planning it. So then things started happening. So you want to talk about flow? I started to notice my body was calm. Things started coming to me. And so I redid my whole website. My guy again helped me out. It was a month project and it's now going to be online. So I've finally been able to create a Feed Your Soul reset. It's a 4-week program. I'm launching it January the 4th and it's going to be weekly. So there's weekly themes. There's a PDF workbook and I'm providing two 50-minute movement videos per week and then a soul session where I'm just going to talk about something that, life stuff, like things that I've learned. And the thing that I've realized, I don't know if you've realized this, but when we were back in the day working at fitness, it was like 1 hour, go hard, push everything you got. So that's how we trained people. It was like, do what you can, push your body. As we get older, I'm noticing that body can't go hard much anymore. Like, and really all you need is like movement a day, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And be mindful of movement. So that's where I feel like this is going to be able to resonate with a lot of people because what's 15 minutes? But if you weren't doing 15 minutes before and you add 15 minutes a day, do you know what that's going to do for you?
That's
And
wonderful.
yeah, so it's gonna be a mix. So I've got 16 fitness certifications in my past life of trainings, everything from yoga, bar, all the dance formats you can do, weight training, right? So now I'm super pumped because I'm gonna take all of that knowledge and I'm just gonna develop movement. So you know what? We could be doing yoga and we might break out into a dance halfway through. So it's not going to be your traditional stuff. It's going to be music based, right? And it's just going to be moving your body, whether it's stretching or going hard for a little bit. So that's my goal with this reset. And it's just to get people thinking about moving again.
And that's flow, isn't it?
It's flow.
Yeah.
It is flow and everything's flowing. And yeah, so I'm really excited. And now people can join me because a lot of people were like, Serena, I can't come to Vernon to your classes. I'm like, you know what? You can now join me online. So it's on demand. Everything's going to be like filmed and up on demand. So you do it at your own at your own pace. And so I'm going to launch it on the 4th. So I think I'm going to have like a handful of people doing it with me then. But I'm going to keep that program going. So if somebody finds me in like 4 or 5 months and they feel like they need a reset in like June or July, they can purchase the program. And I'm also going to be adding to my on demand classes that I kept. So, see, something wasn't letting me pull the plug on that. I'm like, I can't pull the plug on my last Soul Studio piece. Like, there was just something. And that's why.
And it's just evolving now.
Yes.
It gets to
Yes, it's
evolve.
and I get to evolve, and I think I'm excited because I get to evolve it the way I've evolved. So it's and being in the industry like for almost 30 years, like I can't it's just mind-blowing. I was looking back at all the trainings I've done, the people I've met, places I've taught, Cuba, Mexico, like training with like great instructors. Yeah, and of course you should still be teaching. But my body, I needed that break.
Oh yeah, you did. You needed that break. You needed that space to listen, and then now it's an evolution. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
in the industry for 22 years now,
Yeah.
23, 30 for you. That's
Yeah.
it really is a lot of compiled experience.
Yes.
And now
Yes.
you can integrate it into something new.
Yeah, and that's why I was thinking about you with your hypnotherapy. You're still integrating your wellness, your fitness, your body talk, like that's all related, you
Mhm.
know? So when we are out there teaching, we have the background and we've got the education for it because we're learning geeks. Like I love to learn. Like, why do you think I have 16 fitness certifications? People are like, why do you have so many? I'm like, I want to know what yoga does. I want to
Yeah,
know why people do bar. Like, I want to learn how to teach it, you know?
I have taken them
So
all.
yeah.
If it's
So
available, I've taken it. Trust me.
Right?
Yeah.
See? And so we do all these things, but then now I think what's exciting is we can create our own magic, you know, and be able to give people what we feel that's in our soul. Might not resonate with everybody, but I am a-okay with that. I've been like that all my life. I'm like, if it doesn't gravitate towards you, you don't need to take my classes, you know, but it's just a feeling. But just put yourself out there, you know, and I think people are really afraid of putting themselves out there. Yeah, it is scary, but I also feel like you just need to take that chance on yourself. And the last thing I would suggest is just be yourself. The Robyn I'm talking to is Robyn. Like if I see you in the streets, you're exactly going to be the same way. Don't portray yourself as something that maybe you're hiding yourself. Shine that light that's inside you, you know? So if I can help more people do that, my job is done, you know? I
Exactly
just
what
want
you are going to be doing.
I
That's
hope
exactly
so.
That's what you do already. It's what you've
Yeah.
always done, but now you can do it in a global way. And the one gift that I believe that COVID gave us is
Yeah.
taking the world online.
Yeah.
Because even as I
Totally.
told you, when I wanted to train as a hypnotherapist back in 2016, I couldn't because I would have had to have gone physically somewhere. Whereas now you can train online. It is
Yeah.
possible, but only since COVID.
You're so right. And like even with all this technology that I've got, like I invested a lot. Like I had a company from Vancouver come and revamp my whole Soul Studio into Soul Studio Online because I was like, I cannot give them like a half-assed studio. The audio's got to be good, the video's got to be good. So like why would they want to watch something that's not good quality, you know? So I had all this equipment and then Telus, right? I got the grant. I got even more equipment like this mic, I've got lights, I've got like camera. So then everything was already here. So I'm actually converting my podcast room into my Feed Your Soul studio online. I'll be
Isn't that
doing
great?
everything from this room.
It is.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
like me now too. And all I had to do was bring in a recliner chair and which
See?
I already had
I
from
love
when I had
it.
my daughter. And
Yeah.
so the way that I've managed to get back to group, because group is my in my soul. I love group. I love
Yeah.
one-on-one, but I
Yeah.
also love group.
Yeah.
And all this time, I've always specialized accidentally in weight loss and metabolism since fitness days. And I remember those people, Serena, I remember the people that would come to class, they were doing everything right and they were moving their bodies and they were so consistent and the scale would not budge.
I know. God, that gave me just I felt so bad for them.
It would kill me. It would kill me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now I work on the reason why, which is the subconscious programming that we hold that keeps us stuck at a certain weight sometimes when that weight is a protection weight.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Which is
So,
so great because I feel like it's almost like if I can start getting people into movement and those people that are really stuck, especially as we get older, your metabolism, I've noticed changes in my body. Like I'm approaching like well, I just turned 48, right? So it's like you're getting to this number and you're just like what's happening? But things are stuck. You got to flow. and it can be done. So if you commit to working on yourself through movement and through classes like yours, I feel like we can together get people on this great thing about feeling so good about themselves again.
Feeling good. Yes, you deserve to feel good
Yeah, you
about
do.
yourself
People deserve to feel good about themselves. 100%.
and to feel good in themselves,
Yes. In
right?
in in their bodies. What is the perfect body? Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing about fitness industry that really irked me. I mean, I could talk so much about this and like but that could be maybe another podcast down the road, but the way they portray fitness and what you should look like. Like, okay, I'm going to tell you one quick story is when I started working out at Fitness West, I started to get involved in training. So I wanted to be in a fitness competition.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Why?
that too. Yep.
Because I loved the way I love body, like you, like I love the way the muscles are. So I started training for this. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, you have to stop drinking water. I was like, well, what do you mean? For like stage or whatever you need to do, like you dehydrate yourself. All these things that these people do to get on stage to show that muscle like that. I was like, that is not fitness. That is body image. Fitness and wellness maybe are two different things. So you know what? I pulled out of the program. I was like, I don't believe that this is the best thing for my body. What do you mean women don't get their periods for a couple years after they do this? How is that right? So my view of fitness then became from that moment, it is definitely about the physical appearance, but like work through the inside, you know? Hopefully the body will form.
Mhm.
But anyways, you're right. Weight is another subject.
Yeah. So think about it this way. If your weight is a physical barrier between you and something else, why on earth would your body let your metabolism run properly if it doesn't feel safe? Why would it do that?
Interesting.
It's not
Yeah.
going to do that. It's going to keep you safe by keeping that weight on you, which might mean tanking your thyroid or
Yep.
insulin resistance or blood sugar dysregulation, whatever it might be. So in fitness, we did it a certain way, diet and exercise.
Yep.
And then in body talk, I worked a ton with dysmorphia and like eating
Okay.
disorders, that kind of thing, which has
Yeah.
more to do with the brain and the way that we perceive ourselves. And then with hypnotherapy now, I'm working on the subconscious block. So you've mentioned a couple times feeling blocked in your body.
Yeah.
Well, the way I approach it now is looking at what that block is. Why is that block there?
Mhm.
Usually it's your body trying to keep you safe. It's usually based on something that happened when you were a kid or teenager, whatever.
Yep.
And we can address that through hypnosis to look at what that subconscious block is. A,
I love that.
B, the thing that changed my life was when my hypnotherapist put in a bubble of protection for me when I was 35, 34, 35. I was able to understand in retrospect why group fitness worked so much better for me than one on one. And with group fitness, I had a geographical boundary between me and them. So I had a stage or I had a little bit of
Mhm.
separation. I wasn't
Yep.
touching, I had that separation. And so that worked better for me. I could hold space for more people that way. And then when I was in body talk, it's very hands on. And like, it's
Touching.
hands on touching. I'm
Mhm.
right in your space. It's one on one. And I loved it so much, but I would get really tired. So I would do all the things to try to clear the energy and try not to take it on, but it was still waking me up in the middle of the night. And then when I worked with my hypnotherapist, she explained how the subconscious, which is where all of your programs are, your subconscious loves imagery and metaphor. So, in the state of hypnosis, which makes you highly suggestible, she walked me through putting in this bubble of protection that would bounce off other people's feelings and
Mhm.
emotions and judgments and
Mhm.
opinions. And then from that point on, I could do my body talk work without taking stuff on. So, now fast forward to my career,
Wow.
and everybody that was coming through my door for hypnosis was an empath. And so I would always put a bubble of protection in very first session, no matter what. And just that alone made huge
Helps.
changes for them. Then
Yes.
I realized that if we put the bubble of protection in first and then we ask your body to let go of weight, it's going to work a lot better because it
Yeah, you know
feels
what?
safe.
I can understand that. I really do believe that because it is like everything is connected. And you're right, the weight is just something that's just clinging on. Something needs to release it,
Mm.
right? And
And that's
then
safety.
it's a safety, and then once you start adding in the movement and then feeling more confident with yourself too, like, I mean, I've run into a lot of people that are like, "I'm so happy you're doing it online because I really don't wanna go to the gym," you know, like, they just don't feel good. I'm like, "Okay, well, let's get you feeling better, you know? Let's get you moving, and
Yes.
then you can go out and do your thing."
Yes.
It's a related industry that we're in,
Oh,
and we're very passionate about helping others feel good about themselves.
100%. And sometimes it's a priority thing. So maybe it's movement that allows them to get to the point that they can make changes to lose
Yes.
weight, or they have to do the subconscious work first to allow them to move. Because remember,
Yes.
if they're feeling like they need the weight for safety subconsciously, they're not going to want to move.
No, I do agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not. Well, just like me when we were stuck, right?
Yeah.
I didn't wanna move.
You
I
couldn't move.
didn't move actually. I walked, like, I had to do something, but yes, there is a block, so whether it's the movement block, if the block is here, that's like you, if the block is here, that's me, and then it just kinda, like, relates to each other.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
so cool, Robin. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled to hear about what you're doing. I can't wait
Thank
to
you.
support you in
Thank
that. And
you.
it's going to be incredible. And the other thing that's really neat about that now is you spoke before about being yourself. And I
Mhm.
just want to say to the listeners, the more you are, the more your people can find you.
Oh, it's so true. It's
Your
so
people.
true.
Hmm.
Yeah. So just be you and like everybody has their own little gifty things and those people always seem to find each other.
Hmm.
And I think that's the beauty of what we get to experience in life. And then we get to learn and be with people that are like-minded and understand what we're talking about. Like it's way better having a conversation with you because I'm like, you're going to know my feeling. Like you're and I knew your feeling when it was blocked. I'm like, we understand each other's feelings. So yes, be you and don't be afraid to speak about the things that don't work out because that's how we learn. And I think that's what my podcast did for me is I was able to speak about it because nobody knew what I was going through running a business, so I started to talk about it and it made me feel a lot better.
Because otherwise it's just inside and you have to have
Yeah.
that medium to let it out. And a lot of the time too, when we are in fitness, we were able to mask a lot of that because
Oh
we
yeah.
did release so much physically, but there's
Mhm.
still some emotion that gets stuck that then we sometimes need to pay attention to that and allow it an outlet for
Yeah.
release.
And pay attention to what this is telling you. I
Hmm.
go with the flow so much now. Like before, I was so on timing, my eating, my everything. But now I'm like, body, you're hungry? I'll feed you. Body, you're tired today. You don't feel like going for a walk. I wanted to go for a walk. Body's like, don't go for a walk today. I said, okay, body, I'll stay home.
That's
So I
awesome.
don't put that pressure on myself now.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can be afraid that if we don't stick to everything that we are doing,
Yes.
that we're not going to meet our goals. So having that flow, it's funny that we're talking about flow so much because I do a group hypnosis for weight loss class once a month. It's online. And
Amazing.
I teach a little class for about 30 minutes, and then we do a group hypnosis for 30 minutes, and it all lives inside my online portal membership. So people can join anytime and they get access to the whole library of every class
Love
I've
it.
ever done, and they can work through them then. But it's always based around some sort of a theme with empaths and weight. So we've done emotional eating, and we've done abundance, and we've done sugar cravings. We've done all kinds of different themes. Every month is a different theme, and I'll take into account who's in the class, and they'll tell me what they're working on, and that helps me design the container for that month. So this month we did
Wow.
lymph. It was all about lymphatic flow and the anchor, which is something I use in hypnotherapy, so that when we make a change in the subconscious mind through hypnotherapy, and then we anchor it in with something physical, like every time you take a big deep breath in and let it out, you're going to feel XYZ. One of the ones I use all the time is an
Yeah.
anchor of thumb and finger together, like an OK sign.
Yeah.
And the anchor that we did for this month was flow. Every time you put your thumb and finger together, you're going to feel flow. You're going to be in the
Oh,
state of
love.
flow. I'll send it to you,
Yes.
Serena. I'll send you
Send
the
it to
recording.
me.
I will.
I
Yeah.
think that's so awesome. And I think flow, once you can hit the state of flow, if you can let go, oh, magic happens. Like, and this is what people are so scared of because they want to control everything.
Yeah.
So feel and find the flow and trust it.
Mhm.
Because if you don't trust it, then either it's taking you down the wrong path or you just feel like I think you just let go of that layer, let go of that layer and just go. Yeah, if we can get people to that point, Robin, like I think that would be just so much people have so much good in themselves and to share and it just keeps getting blocked, right? So we want to take those blockages out for people. That's
Mhm.
so awesome. We might
Mhm.
have to like coordinate and do something, like
Oh,
because
yeah.
I feel like it's a very related industry and you've got that mind part, I've got the movement, so like it's just we're together. I think it's pretty cool.
Let's definitely do that. And I will keep
Yeah.
everyone posted about what it is that we create because that's definitely going to happen. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
100%
for
yes.
sure, yeah. It feels right, and it's just a feeling. And
Mhm.
then I haven't talked to you in how long? It's
10
been
years.
years, probably 10
Probably,
years, like,
probably
and
10
then
years.
I was like, "Oh my god, wow." I was like, "Yeah," like, when you reached out, I was like, "That is so awesome." Talk about timing. The other thing that I always think too is, like, who have you met in the past that you never know when they're gonna come back up? I love having relationships of for so long that you don't have to speak to you every day, but when we connect, it's awesome.
Well, and for the listeners, the way that this happened was because I saw a Facebook post. I'm never on Facebook. It is not my favorite, but I was on there checking on something else and I saw your post about, guess what? I'm coming back. And I
Yeah.
really haven't been in touch with you since I think you closed Soul,
So
at least that long. And we don't,
yeah.
even though I'm in Armstrong, you're in Vernon, we never run into
No,
each other. Literally
ever,
never, ever. I don't think
never.
we ever have, even
No,
once
I don't think so.
in like 30 years.
Yeah,
So that's interesting. But
yeah.
yet I saw that and I immediately just felt boom, let's get together and do a podcast episode. There's something here that's going to be helpful to everyone.
And you acted on it. So people out there, if you have that intuition, send the email, send the message. What's the worst case scenario that was gonna happen? Like, I said no, so
Mhm.
then, whatever. But if you say yes, it creates an opportunity for people. So don't be afraid.
And the opportunity came in the first place because you shared online.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You shared
yeah,
first. That was
yeah,
you. And
yeah.
you didn't think, oh, you know what? I bet you no one's going to care about. You might have thought that. Maybe no one cares, but you did it anyway. And then
I
your
did.
people that resonate can
Mhm.
resonate and they can find you. So you're just creating opportunity when you are yourself, wherever it is, whether
Yes, Robin,
online,
yes.
whether
Yeah,
it's in the school pickup and you smile at the mom beside you, whatever, you're
yes.
in the grocery store in line. These are opportunities for connection.
100%. Love it. Perfectly
Yeah.
said. Yeah,
Oh,
that was awesome.
well, thank you so much. Serena, I'm going to
Thank
link to
you.
everything
Yep.
that we've talked about in the show
Okay.
notes.
Perfect.
For the listeners, this is coming out January 1st. So you will have
Yep.
3 days if you want to jump into Serena's program. Before the
Yes.
4th, you'll have an
Yeah,
opportunity to do that. And if not, like she said, it's evergreen.
down the
So
road. But
you'll
where
just,
I'm hoping to get a collective at the beginning so that we can even if it's online, you're just gonna know that there's a collective doing it, and it's just gonna be, like, so amazing to know that other people are doing it too. We're all in the same position. I would love for you to join me, like, when the time is right. So
Mhm.
thank you so much, Robin, for having me and for reaching out and having me share this opportunity. I feel so good and I feel so right now, and thank you for solidifying that for myself at this early stages in this new chapter of my life.
Oh, Serena, you are such a light. You have been
Oh,
a
thank you.
light from the moment I remember the very first time I ever saw you. Your light is so brilliant and so beautiful. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
your generosity and for sharing with us. So I can't
Thank
wait
you,
to see what
Robin.
you create.
Yes, thank you. And congrats to you. And I just loved hearing about what you're doing. I just love it. So keep helping those people. Let's get people like smiling again and feeling good in their
Yeah,
bodies.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk
Thanks,
soon.
Robin. You bet.
Okay,
See ya.
bye. Thank you for joining me today on the Hypnotic Empath. If this episode resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd follow the show, leave a 5-star review, or share with somebody who needs this kind of support. You can find more resources, hypnotherapy audios, and ways to work with me at robynholm.com. And don't forget, your sensitivity is not a weakness, it's a gift. Stay rooted in your power, and I'll see you next time.